Welcome back to the Chow Time Pod. It's your host, Red. Got a video today from Abba and Preach. You know, they did the same clip that Chang did about the Asian woman not wanting to date Asian men because, you know, it reminds them of their brother. So they have a different take on it than at least us Asian guys do. So let's see what their take is. I actually haven't watched it myself, so please subscribe down below. I really appreciate that. Let's get to that chow. It's chow time.
Asian guys remind me of my brother.
What the?
And that's why.
What?
You don't date Asian guys?
I've never, no.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
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 Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Move, nigga. Interesting.
Interesting.
That's what it felt like. It was like, do you date colonizers? Konnichiwa. Can I eat some sushi out your pussy?
Why don't you like Asian guys? Are you
I
a
think-
race traitor?
A race
Are you a
traitor?
race
No,
traitor?
No, like,
You wouldn't even date a Vietnamese guy?
no, not really. I actually, like, I don't know. They just come off, I get so close. Like, they're just my friends. Like, they give me, like, my brother, like, they remind me so much.
I think we need to ban the word like. Some of these people.
Like
should-
why? Like why would you like?
I feel like I feel like my friends, like friends, they remind me like my brother. Like,
You know what like is? Like is the new That's what it is. Before people was like, well, I gotta do so when people do that,
That's funny because mine is, you know. I think I listen to my clips all the time. I always say, my bad, guys.
it's really just to replace their thought is not made, so they just replace all that with that word. Like,
you know what
like
you could do?
shut the fuck up.
Take a pause.
Which is equal to shutting the fuck up.
Reflect.
Shutting the fuck up, basically.
Saying there's like a good time to just pause and be like, let me think about what I'm going to say before I.
They remind me so much, like, the way that they carry themselves. They remind me so much of my brother that
Wait.
it's like.
Sorry, go ahead. Continue.
Okay, here's the thing. It's your dating preferences. It's your business. Don't care. Don't care.
Yeah.
You should be free to date whoever you want to date for whatever reason you want to date them. But saying Asian men remind you of your brother is one of the most biggest cop-outs and one of the dumbest things I've ever heard.
I agree.
It insinuates the idea that all Asian men are alike.
Correct.
Irrespective of height, skin tone, personality.
And there's a lot of different Asians, from Koreans of the lightest of Asians to like the in-between, to me, to Indians, like there's quite a bit of different shade, height, and everything. To not say you don't date Asians because they remind you of your brother. I don't think all of them look like your brother, lady.
Upbringing, class,
Body
every
size.
single one of them.
Reminds you of your brother.
That is
Right.
stupid.
That
That is incredibly fucking
no.
dumb.
She can't be. She's Asian. My bad.
Listen, it's just one of those things where I'm like, just have your preference and just say I don't want to talk about it. But don't get some goofy shit where I'm like, why you don't date black women? I don't want to date black women because criminality. What? Am I insinuating? Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Can you imagine if her brother just popped out the closet like Whitney Houston? I'm every Asian. It's only me.
That's
That's what it feels like. Like, no. And you know what? Like, when people get up on these
the remix is dope.
I'm every Asian.
Chopsticks and Asian bun, baby. I'm every Asian.
Just don't.
Do it, bro.
Oh,
Just
that's
date what you
hilarious.
want to date.
Do it, bro.
But don't come out here and say this goofy shit, because that stuff, that's when you start to make terrible stereotypes about whatever group you're talking about.
I have like a brotherly relationship with most
Closer to the
Asian,
mic, closer to
with
the
most
mic.
Asian men that I meet.
Wait, can you scoot your chair into the table so we can get you a little better posture?
Can you just put that mic closer? Put it in your mouth. Now use a bit of tongue. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah. Whenever I meet a girl, she can do that sound effect. I don't know why. I'm like, yeah. Anyways. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, damn, how are you so good at this? Hey, yeah. Anyways, big announcement. We're going on tour. What? Yes, we're on tour. What are we gonna do? We're gonna react to videos live? No. For that, we're gonna be doing the rest of America. We're likely gonna go to Europe some parts. We're excited to get to catch you guys face to face.
I can't. I don't know. I can't describe it.
They remind you of.
Yeah, like they have the
your
same
brother.
personality traits as like the.
Whoa,
my
That's a
brother,
bit.
like,
That's a bit. You know.
I don't know. And
Are
then,
you
like,
saying all Asian men are the same?
No. I'm not the ones that I've met.
All remind you of how your brother acts.
Yes, the ones that I have met, yes. Or like one of my cousins or something. I don't know. It's just like.
Now you're just making shit up. You know, it's weird that how proud some of these Asian women are to not date Asian men, and they wear like a badge of honor, and it's just like, really? Why would you do that? I just said like,
What about like a nice Filipino boy?
Yeah, I've met a lot of them, yeah. I just.
Laos? What about a guy from Laos?
I've
Maybe
never-
like American born, but Laos.
No.
Asians. She said Asians. She said Asians.
I don't know why this one
you
guy.
can name one,
Yeah,
all of them if you want to.
Yeah, this Brian dude just be like, hey,
It's like, let me name. I know all of them.
I know Asia.
I know Asian.
So Laos, no. Cambodia, okay. We go Malaysia,
Filipino?
Japanese, Korean.
What about a
South?
Malay?
How about North Koreans? They're built different. Literally.
yeah, they are.
Starving and shit. Come on. No? Chinese? No? Mongolian? Huh? No? Kazakh? They're kind of Asian, but also kind of Russian? No?
Most
Definitely, it sounds like not Vietnamese because your brother's Vietnamese, so that's like
Yeah,
all
Vietnamese.
immediately.
Like I don't know.
like,
It's
oh.
just like we're too alike.
Too alike.
You know, like I can relate to you so much that I can't learn anything. So it's like
Mongolian.
Not being able to learn something from someone or relate that you relate so much to them is mostly why people like the people that they like and are with the people that they are with. For you to say that just because they're Asian or whatever it is, it sounds so disingenuous.
no.
Korean.
I was
He's
just joking.
naming-
before.
he's-
I was
he's
just joking. But this guy,
he's
he
just
just keeps saying it. This, oh my god, okay, I'm gonna have to skip this guy too.
Korean. Japanese. Chinese.
Oh my god! He actually did it! He actually did it!
Yeah, of
I
course
think
he's
this
gonna
guy's
name
more
them all.
autistic than. Oh my.
Did that. He fucking did that. Now I know my ABCs.
Yeah! You don't shut the fuck up.
Vietnamese. Okay. What about I'm running out of Asian countries.
Japan, China.
Thai.
I've met. No, I only know one type.
Indonesian.
What about like Filipino?
Okay, guys, I gotta skip this part. This is just.
Yes, skip.
Few moments later.
Going around
I'm
the
missing
table.
like at least one or two of the South.
He's still going! Oh my god! Let me skip again.
Much later.
Oh, I missed Taiwan. Thank you.
Thailand.
He's still going! I'm skipping it!
You know what it sounds like? It sounds like, all right, you're racist, I'm not. I know the differences.
Hey,
You
listen.
don't. That's
Yeah.
what it sounds like.
It's pretty much what I think Brian's kind of getting at. Yeah, that I could tell the difference between all these people and men, and you can't because they're all the same to you.
Are you just not attracted to Asian men?
Yeah, I would say that too.
Motherfucker, that's what she said!
Flashback.
You don't date Asian guys.
I've never known.
End of flashback.
It took you 5 minutes.
Okay, you're triggered.
No.
you're
After
tri-
5
you're
minutes,
tri- you're
he
triggered.
went, no.
I know I was there.
She went, I'm not into Asian men. And he went, what about Laos? Taiwan, Mongolia, Japan, Korea, not South, North, China, Malaysia, Indonesia.
I think Abba's taking this part a little bit too serious. No, I think it was a way for Brian to say, like, there's so many countries in Asia, and yet all of them remind you of your brother. All of them are men that you dislike. That's the part I think he's trying to get at. So I think Abba's a little bit triggered on this one.
No? Okay,
5 minutes later.
so now I've like listed all the Asian countries. Can I just ask, are you just not into Asian men?
You're triggered. You're fucking triggered. You're triggered. It's okay.
That was one of the dumbest things I've ever seen.
In a long time.
It took you 5 minutes to just realize after she'd already said it 3 times. Like, come on, bro. I think this guy's a bit on the spectrum. Not gonna lie.
And then, like I said, it's just a thing. Like we're just so alike. Like I like learning from my man. Like I like learning about different culture too, and like I like just experiencing new things. But it's like with somebody, if I was dating like a Vietnamese guy, we relate so much. It's
Do
like
you speak Vietnamese?
I understand it, but I don't speak it.
Okay. Wait, so
She understands it but doesn't speak it. So wouldn't a Vietnamese guy be able to teach you something? Actual Vietnamese to be able to speak?
You would relate too much to them, and that's
I know it sounds weird. It's just like I can't
It
I
is
can't
what it
learn
is.
I can't learn from you, or you can't really like teach me new things about.
Well, you can learn the language.
Preacher knows where I was coming from.
Carry on. Sorry. Carry on.
Oh, man.
It sounds like you don't know shit about your own culture.
Pretty much.
Carry on.
Listen, okay,
That's fine.
before I just even continue, because she's not really saying much. It just sounds
Hasn't.
like some self-loathing. Like there's some parts of Asian culture that she really doesn't like, of her own culture, and that when she sees other Asian men, those feelings come out. That's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like, generally speaking. She's saying she can't learn anything. How can you ever know that without ever dating them? It don't even sound like you have that deep of a connection to the homeland. Like you
No,
don't
she
speak the
doesn't.
language. You know what I mean? You could tell me you ain't even been.
I mean, I'm pretty Cambodian. Like most of my Asian friends say, "Damn, you're pretty Asian." But if I was to marry a Cambodian woman from Cambodia, she would be able to teach me a lot about Cambodia and the culture itself, because I wasn't born I was born there, but I wasn't raised there. So things are different. You can always learn from someone. Depends on what you want to learn.
Around a lot of Asian people. Then you say, I know a lot of guys from Vietnam or whatever. So I don't know. You say a bunch of
Vietnam.
confusing stuff, but all of this just sounds like you dislike either being Vietnamese or you just dislike Vietnamese men. That's it.
I care about if he cares about my culture and he wants to learn more about my culture. And my boyfriend right now, he's black.
Not gonna
Surprised.
lie.
Surprised.
You are?
Super.
Okay. Me too. I looked at her. I'm like, she looked like she dates black dudes. I'm not gonna lie.
And he goes to extremes to try to teach me more about black culture, and he tries to help me understand it better, so that I have a better understanding of him.
Just out of curiosity.
He's
Sorry,
he's,
I just
no,
curious.
he's very he's very he's done rallies, he's led rallies before, he's led protests, he's very passionate about his culture, which was why I would say it's unfair of me to disregard it and not want to learn about it more, because if he cares about it so much, why should I make him feel like I don't care about it?
Well, I mean, I think it's great that you want to learn about his culture. I just, in terms of an attraction trigger, I've never heard someone say learning about I would not be attracted to someone if I could not learn from their culture. And if that's the case for you, hey, that's totally fine. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know.
It's not just just the culture thing. It's just a learning period.
Bruh, you know what it sounds like? You know what it sounds like?
What?
It sounds like I only date black people with a lot of steps. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe that's just the first she might have did white dudes. It sounds like she got a problem with her own culture and she'd rather just be anywhere else. Maybe it's something to learn from her dad. Maybe something to learn from there. But all this talk about.
I mean, this is why we always, a lot of people in the culture, Asian culture, always say they're self-hating. Like a lot of these women hate Asian culture, hate their culture themselves. That's why they choose to not deal with their culture anymore. And nothing wrong with it in a sense. I don't have any issues with it, but to go around about it like that is just just say it, But
All Asian men remind me of my brothers. Really stupid. I'm sorry. That just is so reductive in how you talk about Asian people in general. It makes them sound singular in personality type or anything. First off, she said all Asian men. That's crazy. Because you best believe, culturally speaking, Japanese are distinctly different.
see, now he goes through all the countries, or displaying the difference in all countries. This is exactly why I think Brian said all those countries, Brabba. Like you're about to go do the same thing now.
Than Koreans. Distinctly different from people from Malaysia in terms of climate, in terms of lifestyle, in terms of many other things. It's like when people talk about Africa. It's like, yeah, the temperament in Ethiopia is going to be distinctly different than the temperament in Rwanda, even though they're neighboring countries. Same thing for Somalia, or I go all the West Africa. It's just stupid when you do that. Europeans are not all the same. Sorry, somebody in Italy is not going to live the same as somebody in northern UK. It's just not going to happen.
Depending on where in Italy as well. Like, it depends where.
True, south of Italy is completely different than the north.
It's like
It's weird. When I hear goofy stuff like this, I'm like, hey, you got some shit to figure out, but you saying this shit no. That's something that I think it's okay for people to be like, I ain't rocking with that. I don't like it when people say, all white people.
Yeah, just be truthful. That's why Asian guys are just say you don't want to date Asians. like, or I have a thing about it, or I like this particular group. You don't have to go about it with all of these coping mechanisms and the things to just try to say so it doesn't make you seem like you're a better person than you are for some reason. But
Well, the same. It's like, what does that even mean?
I mean, I've dated all races. I like all races. I like black women, African American women, my bad. And then Latin women. I love all Asian women. The only women I don't really seem to date too often is like Caucasian women. Their features I'm not attracted to, just personally. But that is what it is. I don't have an issue saying that. So it's just my preference.
What does that even really mean? You date one white person, they all remind you of the same white person? That's weird. No? Is that crazy?
I've seen that. I heard that.
I have heard it too. Every time I hear it, I think
It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
It is kind of weird. I don't know where really it's from, whatever.
No,
maybe
there's
you have
no way
traumas or stuff like that and stuff like that. It could be different for a lot of people, but I've heard that rhetoric a lot. I've heard that. I've heard that from men. I've heard that from men, from women about their own culture. Yes. And they're like, no.
Yeah, maybe.
You know who I've heard? Because we're in this country, I've heard that from the most? White girls.
What?
Saying, I don't want to date a white boy. So I've heard that much more here.
No. Yeah, makes
And
sense.
also, I'm from Longueuil, so.
Yeah. I think that I think a lot of people grow up and they just don't find themselves or their family cool or interesting, and so they consume other cultures through media and find that stuff more engaging and more socially appealing, and so they find like a bit of revulsion towards their own culture and start to fetishize and take a serious interest in others, right? So why they'll downplay like, oh, American culture, and then they'll obsess over Japanese culture. Even though they've never been or anything like that, they turn into weebs who dress like Japanese people and konnichiwa and say all this goofy
and
shit.
Women.
I suspect it just comes from young age, but I could be wrong. So just take my shit for two.
Yeah, they don't think their culture is appealing, and the parts that are appealing to others, they don't want to associate with that.
Yeah.
And then they veer off to some other things.
So they think by rejecting it, it's going to just make them seem more cool and more interesting or whatever it is. But it's like,
Yeah, they're right. Like they take pride in rejecting it and making it seem like, oh, it's a badge of honor. It's, oh, I'm so much cooler because I don't date these guys, or whatever it is. I think it's awkward. I date Caucasian women. I'm not so attracted to most of them. Like I haven't really met very many like Caucasian women that I'm like, damn, I want to date her. Not very many, at least. There's plenty of Latin women, plenty of Asian women, plenty of African American women I've looked at and I was just like, damn, I want to date that.
no, you just sound like a loser for downplaying your own people.
Back in the days, I remember I had some dude. He was the only black emo I knew. I don't care about you listening to that music. I don't care if you're like, what's the worst thing I could say? Like, you do whatever you want to do, right? But he would straighten his hair and put it like, the emo look where you have your hair over your, I don't know, dude, I don't care. That shit.
Yeah.
Straighten your hair. You became a hope. That's your style. But there was a lot of resentment from his own people.
Yeah.
And, because his people was rejecting him and stuff like that. There was a lot of bullying. He would receive a lot of bullying from black people. So he veered off another thing. He didn't like dancehall, reggae, hip hop, none of that. So he went to that stuff and he became that.
I think most of this stuff comes from childhood. I remember even for me for a long time, my mom kept trying to do these like arranged marriages with other Ethiopian girls. And I refused to date an Ethiopian girl just to spite her. Which,
All right, this is for me too. My parents wanted me to marry a Cambodian girl, and they picked out some Cambodian girls, but I met my ex-wife pretty young and stuck with her, and they weren't happy. My family dislikes Vietnamese greatly just because the internal battles of Vietnam and Cambodia were such a thing, and my parents and all my family lived through it. So they just felt the way about it, and they had to deal with it. And the arranged marriages that they had lined up were super unhappy that I ended up with a Vietnamese woman. So
which is not a good thing. And now at older age, everything's chill. But, sometimes it's you not thinking it's cool. Sometimes it's being forced on you, Some people will not want to date people from their own cultures because their parents try to force it on them so hard.
Oh,
it's kind of
that's
like
true.
religion.
You know what? You're right. He's right. My bad. I know a Chinese girl that is a significant other to one of my closest friends. He happens to be black, and when she was growing up here, her mother made it so she would not speak Chinese because they didn't want to, be seen a certain way. So she grew up not knowing Chinese and grew up you don't do Asian stuff much because, we don't want them to think that we're different. We want to assimilate best as possible. So I do see that also.
If you would have let the kid find it on their own or in their own time, they would have grown. But because parents made such a, effort to like shut you in and you're going to take this and you're going to love this, and then you reject it even harder because of how it was pushed on you,
Oh.
So most of this stuff I think comes from, if you actually take time to dissect it and really look at it, just comes from your childhood experience with either your culture or whatever the topic is.
Mm-hmm.
So, anything else?
Nah.
Let us know what you guys think.
Ooh, I love Aber and Preach. Like I said, they have different views than me because they grew up quite different from me. But our views still align greatly when we think about things. Women, at least Asian women, are so proud of not dating Asian men or just feeling that Asian men are kind of beneath them from what I can tell, just like how she's saying things. At least that's how I feel. It might not be that way, but just the things that she says are so nonsensical. It feels like that she feels that they're beneath her. So please like and subscribe down below. I'd really appreciate it. Catch you guys next time. Ciao.